On today's episode, we're joined by Addison Walker, who is going to talk about all things dog training, especially for duck hunting. And she's only 18 years old. You don't want to miss this.
Welcome to the Ascend Podcast, a podcast by and for women in the outdoors. Every episode delivers real stories, practical how-tos, and a welcoming community to help you start, sharpen, or rediscover your passion for the outdoors. Authentic women, real stories, outdoor adventures, Ascend. Presented by Ducks Unlimited, the leader in wetlands conservation. Your next adventure starts here, the Ascend Podcast.
Welcome to the Ascend Podcast by Ducks Unlimited. I'm Adrienne, and today we're going to talk about training new hunting dogs and hunting with them. I am joined by Addison Walker, who is currently a dog trainer assistant at Mossy Pond Lodge in Patterson, Georgia. And Addison, I'm pretty excited about this because she is definitely the youngest guest that I have had. So I'm pretty pumped to just hear her story, hear how she got where she is, and to learn from her insights at the age that she is to already have so many. So make sure, you guys, that you like these episodes whenever you're listening or watching them on YouTube. Also, if you are watching on YouTube, comment, ask us a bunch of questions, tell us what you think. The more that you interact with us and we interact with you, the more they want to push it out to even more viewers. So just make sure you participate and help grow this community. But today is actually going to be a really fun episode for me as well because I told Addison, I know absolutely nothing about hunting with dogs and even less, if there's less than nothing, even less training them. So Addison, thank you so much for being here.
Yes, I'm glad to be here.
So Addison is actually a new friend of mine. We haven't met in person. We've had a couple of conversations, but another friend who, JC Stone, who is going to be on here in a few weeks, she introduced us and said, hey, this young lady has a wealth of knowledge already. She's going to be an amazing guest. So especially when I know we wanted to dig in a little bit more about hunting dogs, I knew that you'd be the one I wanted to reach out to. So before we get in all that, before we start talking about dogs, then Addison, just let everybody know a little bit about yourself.
I'm 18 years old and I'm currently at ABAC going to school. I'm a wildlife conservation major right now, and I've been working with dogs for the past 2 years through high school.
And I know you told me you grew up hunting.
Yes, ma'am.
So what kind of hunting did you grow up doing?
I started off deer hunting, and then my dad would take me to the dove fields with all his buddies. I actually went to a few pheasant hunts with my dad at Mossy Pond before I even realized I would end up working there. And then we finally got into duck hunting.
So how does that translate into deciding you want to train dogs?
Well, so one of the trainers at Mossy Pond was a family friend, and his mom reached out to my mom because there's this thing called Super Cherries University, and it's for all the high school and college kids to be able to get into the sport of competition dogs. And they reached out to me asking if I would like to do it, and I was like, sure. And from there, I ended up asking him if there was any jobs available helping train dogs, and it just went from there.
That's really cool. So you grew up hunting with dogs, I assume.
Sort of.
Okay.
Whenever
Go ahead.
My dad never had a dog, but sometimes some of his buddies would.
And then I'm assuming, if you go to the lodge, they have dogs.
Yes,
So
they
that
do.
was just kind of your first experience with the dogs. So, but did you know, were you like, man, I really want to work out with these dogs, or was it just kind of like, oh, that might be fun?
I was kinda just like, "It'd be fun. It's something new to try," and then I loved it, and I was like, "I wanna do this."
That's really cool. And you told me you train competition dogs. So the thing
Yes.
you were talking about, that's competition dogs?
Yes, ma'am.
How does that work?
So, some competition dogs can hunt too, but most of the time when they're competition dogs, they're just competition dogs, and We put a lot of work into them.
Are they, so, like, and I know nothing, so I have lots of questions. So this is the thing where you see people where they have the whistle and the dog
Yes,
goes and
ma'am.
they're, like, pointing and
Yes, ma'am.
s so how like, the competitions, how does that go? Like, is it timed or how does that go?
It's based off of points. It's basically like golf, you want the lowest points and you win. And for handling, there's points. Blowing your whistle, there's points. There's handling inside and outside the area. And then for blinds, they'll have corridors. And if you go out corridor, you'll get corridor points. And there's also poison birds. And for the non-university and college kids, for the real thing, if you pick up the poison bird, you'll be disqualified too.
How do they is it, like, smell different? Like, how do they
Well, so there's marks and blinds. Whenever they throw the mark, you'll have to tell your dog, "Don't go get that. Go get the blind," that they don't even know it's there. They have to
Oh.
trust you to go get it, and then they have to go get the blind, and then they'll come back, and then we'll pick up the marks.
That's that, I don't know, that's just cool. Like,
Yeah.
again, having 0 experience with it, it blows my mind that you can actually train dogs to do that. Like, and, I never grew up with dogs either, so just how specifically and perfectly you can train them to do what you want them to do.
Right.
Absolutely crazy. So what as a dog trainer assistant do you do?
I've helped clean the kennels, feed the dogs. I've thrown birds for training, and then I've also got experience actually being able to train some of them too.
Is that like so does the trainer go with the dog on the hunt or is that a different person?
S So we have outfitters at Mossy Pond too, and most of the sometimes, the outfitter will take certain dogs that they like to the hunts, but then also sometimes the clients will want the trainer to come, so the trainer will go too.
I gotcha. And then can you bring your own dog also if you come out to those places or like Mossy
Yes, you
Pond?
can.
That's
Yes.
cool. Well, um, I'm sure I'll have more questions about all that, but, in terms of the training the hunting dogs,
Yeah.
like I said, the only experience I ever had, we were on a snow goose hunt, and the guide had a dog, but the weather was awful. It was the pond or the field we were in was frozen, so the geese didn't come down because I something about they didn't like the reflection. I'm not sure because I didn't know much about it, but either way, the dog didn't really get to do much because half the time, by the time we shot something, we were able to just get up and go get it. There was no need for the dog to really retrieve much. So, um, I'm very excited to hear more about, especially like you said, you've been doing it for just a couple years. So I assume there's a lot of like new knowledge, and you're just like soaking it all in. So this is pretty cool. Um, I do want you to talk me through. You told me that you got a puppy and you
Yes.
actually got to train that puppy. So just kinda from the beginning, kinda talk us through what that looks like for you.
Yes. The trainer I was under, he helped me a lot with it. He showed me how to train dogs with my dog, and we always start off with obedience, and then we move on to force fetch, and then you move into blinds and water forcing, and then you start teaching them little puppy marks, and then it just keeps growing and growing.
Okay, so again, I'm very
Yes.
ignorant. So let's rewind. Tell me what each of those things mean. So what's a
So
force fetch and all that stuff?
obedience is like teaching them here, heel, sit, place, and then we move on to force fetch, and we're basically teaching them, hey, if I tell you to go fetch something, you have to go fetch it. And then water forcing is making sure they know they have to get in the water when you want them to get in the water. And then we start teaching the blinds, and we do it on a thing called a tee. It's just a mowed out tee, and you teach them like when I say back, you're supposed to go where I'm pointing you and get the bird. And then we also start teaching hand signals in the tee. And then we start doing just little puppy marks where we have somebody walk out just a few yards and throw some birds to just start teaching them to go get them.
And how, um so you train mainly like labs and goldens. Is that the primary dog that you would train for a duck dog?
Yeah, and, we get some Boykins in sometimes, and sometimes a GSP.
Now are those, I assume it's just in them. Like, it's they just like,
Yes.
if you took a, a poodle out, it probably would not respond the same as one of these
No.
dogs.
It definitely would.
So they know what they're doing. They've already got it in them that this is what's supposed to happen.
Yes.
That's really cool. Now, so first you obviously work on, like you said, just obedience first. Like, if they have to be
Yes.
able to follow simple commands before you
Yeah.
can teach them bigger, get out there and do something crazy commands.
Yes.
So when you're doing this, well, how old are they when you start?
They're usually around 8 months, 8 to 12 months.
And is there, like, how long would it take for you or to be like, okay, this dog is not going to get it?
Usually within, like, the first month or 2, you're like, "Okay, this dog's definitely gonna struggle."
so, so either like, hey, we're good. This is gonna be one we're gonna use forever, or like, not so sure this is gonna be a good one. So
Yeah.
what do you do with that dog? Like, can it still be trained, and it's just definitely not gonna be competition, or is it just kind of like, he's gonna be a good pet?
It can still be trained for hunting, but sometimes they just don't have what it takes to be a competition dog.
I gotcha. And that's probably something bred too, right? Like most, like the winners are
Yes.
like through a line.
Yes.
Yeah, and if I'm assuming if you wanna win competitions, you try to find a bloodline of winners. Do
Yes,
y'all
ma'am.
do that there too? Like, I know there's a kennel. Do they raise them at Mossy Pond as well, or just train?
We have had a couple litters come through. They're
What's
definitely
Sorry,
fun.
I bet
Raising
it is
puppies
fun.
is definitely fun.
I bet it is fun.
Yes.
What, whenever like we talked about the red flags, like, what is it that if you see this in a dog, he's probably not gonna be the best? What are those kinda things you see first that show you?
The major one is just, like, not having go, like, just not wanting to do it at all.
Mm,
That's
no
really the
matter
main
no
thing.
matter what treat or what cue or what discipline or whatever, he's just not
Don't
into it.
wanna do it. Yeah.
Are most of these male or female, or does it not matter?
Majority are male, just because usually females are smaller and a lot of people like the bigger male dogs.
Are they, which one, like, do they perform the same? Like, in terms of usually, like, following commands and stuff, is that pretty similar, or is it
It's pretty similar. I have seen a lot of more males, and it's a lot of people don't like the females because they will come into heat, and then
mm,
you can't take them to competitions, and then they're don't really wanna hunt them that much when they're in heat too.
that makes sense. I hadn't thought about that, but, I mean, that makes sense. If you can just get the male dogs and keep them away, and do
Yeah.
they, okay, so if you're going on a hunt, and let's say there's 5 people hunting ducks, how many dogs do you need?
I'd say probably around 2, at least 1 on each end, probably.
And do those dogs, I'm sure it varies, but do they tend to get along well, or is it like
Yeah.
so they're not like, I guess they're
Going
trained enough that they're not gonna fight each other or whatever.
No, they won't.
That would be less than ideal. Um, so how old is your puppy?
She is a year and a half right now.
And where is she in the process of training?
She's almost finished right now.
And are you training her to compete or to hunt?
Mainly to hunt, but I'll take her to a few, like, hunt tests just to get, like, seasoned and started passes on her, so that way whenever I want to breed her, she'll look better.
Oh, that's smart.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you said that you started about 8 months, and she's almost a year and a half, so give or take about a year process? Is
For
that
just a
about
hunting
normal?
dog, yes.
So in about a year, they're ready to hunt and feel good about what they're gonna do. How long does the competition training take?
Well, usually our competition dogs, they'll just stay with us for, like we have competition dogs that are 8, 9, 10 right now,
Oh, wow.
but we just had a 3-year-old chocolate dog win the, crown the Super Retriever Series crown last year, so he
Oh,
was
wow.
only 3 when he did that.
And how
So it all
many
varies.
competitions is that?
The crown is like the Super Bowl of super, basically. So it's, 5 series, and they'll run them. I think it lasts, like, 4 to 5 days.
Wow. And where are those usually held?
The crown's in Louisiana, but the competitions, just the normal ones, are held just about anywhere.
I gotcha. What, um, if you were okay, so let's go back to the hunting dog. So your dog's about a year and a half. When
Yes,
did
ma'am.
you take her out the first time hunting?
Her first season was last season.
So like, she was still pretty young
She was.
when you took her out.
I'm pretty sure she had just turned a year whenever I first took her out.
Oh, you and I had I had asked you a few questions before because just mainly to make sure I didn't ask stupid questions. But um, so whenever you took her out, or any dog that you're training to hunt, especially, um, do they go out on like trial trips? So like, will a dog go out and just kind of hang out and watch, or like the first time you take it, you expect it to be involved?
The first time you take it, you want the dog to be involved, but you won't be as hard on your dog for making mistakes their first time hunting as you would in training because it's totally new to them and there's multiple shots going off, there's ducks falling, like, it's like a shock to the dogs, basically.
Because they've never done it.
Yes.
So
Like, you
what?
still don't want your dog to, like, break from your side, but, like, if she can't find the bird in there, like, just be patient with your dog and 'cause it's their first time.
Now, when you're training them before you go out, how much, experience around guns do they have before they go hunt?
We have, blanks that we can shoot, so we'll definitely make sure we'll start with, like, having somebody further off shoot the gun while we're sitting by the dog, and then you just start slowly bringing it closer and then making sure they won't break and making sure they aren't gun shy.
And is that I mean, I guess that'd be the easiest way to make sure they're not gun shy is that, like, kinda
Yes.
desensitization, the more
Yes.
they're around it, and like you say, start further off, you don't scare them to death the first time. I don't think that would go very well for them.
No, definitely wouldn't.
Um, and then but like you said, I'm sure when you're training, you maybe have a couple of people out there, and
Yes.
it's very controlled environment, I assume. So then
Very.
whenever there's birds flying everywhere and people shooting all sorts of different directions, I guess that's kind of the what messes them up a little, not mess them up, but, like, makes it a little more complicated.
Yes, they're definitely, like, on edge, like, "Oh my goodness."
"What is happening? I gotta go." Um, what about, so let's say the first time you took her out hunting, what like, this is kind of there's probably no right answer to this. What percent, like, you would say she retrieved properly half the birds? Like, what's a good expectation for a new dog?
If you send the dog for the dirt, definitely make sure they go and finish it, but, like, if they need casting help to get the bird, that's totally okay if they don't, like, mark the bird completely and you need to cast them to the bird.
What does that mean?
Casting's like whenever you, blow the whistle and you, like, give hand signals to tell them
Gotcha.
which way you want them to go.
So, like, if they didn't find it and go straight to it, you can be like, "Over there."
Yes.
And okay, that's cast. Okay, I'm learning all kinds of cool words. I'm gonna know what I'm talking about by the end of this now. That's not I will not. I won't know. Um, now, so when do you like, you're training them, you've got them, you've been shooting, the blanks so that you know, like, hey, he or she's cool with the gun right here near them. They've done a good job retrieving. What's the mark of being ready to take your dog out?
Usually, if they can pick up at least, like, a double, which would be, like, 2 marks being thrown, it'd be, like, before so you have them sitting beside you, 1 mark will be thrown, they'll mark it, and then another mark will be thrown, and then they'll go get the 2nd mark and then come back and pick up the 1st mark. If they can do that and not be gun shy, they're usually ready.
Because I guess even in a hunting scenario, if 2 or 3 people are shooting, that dog's gotta be able to at a minimum, keep up with a couple of birds, but then be able
Yes.
to, like, tell it where to go to get the ones that it maybe didn't see.
Right.
So, how long this is a random question. How long can you like, let's say you've told your dog to get in place. Like, how
Right.
long will that dog sit there? Will it stay there until you tell it to move?
Yes, they
So, like,
should.
hours if you wanted it to.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know why that surprises it doesn't surprise me because they're amazing. Like, you've trained them to do that, but I guess I've always had cats. Cats don't do anything you tell them to do, so I'm always amazed that they'll just, like, hang out and not bark or not whatever. Um, Another question that I have, and I don't think I asked you this beforehand. I know there are some hunting dogs that, um, they're trained or raised to be like, they're just hunting dogs. They're not pets,
Yes.
they're not so where is kinda that line between how do you know when you're like, is your dog also a pet or does it's just a hunting dog?
She's definitely a pet too.
So she's not the
Yes.
one like you're cuddling and this is like your baby.
Yeah, she definitely does sleep in bed with me. A lot of people won't let their hunting dog sleep in bed, but she does sleep in bed with me.
What are the if you were like hardcore, what are like the rules about your hunting dog that you're not supposed to do?
Definitely make them sleep in their kennel, and then, like, they obviously feed them, take them out, use the bathroom, everything. Only give them dog food.
I was trying to think of so they sleep in their kennel, they only eat the food, like, they don't eat other
Hu
so they're not gonna eat your
human food.
bird. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're again, it's I'm assuming because stories I've heard, they're not intended to be like a snuggly, cuddly, like, warm, fuzzy dog.
Yeah, well, I think they can be both, really. That's my
Okay.
opinion, though.
Because you don't want a dog that you can't snuggle with, so
Exactly.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yes.
Well, I have a lot more questions, but before we get into those, we are going to take a quick break so that we can hear from our sponsors.
Dry Pocket, gear that stands up to the wild. Experience waterproof hunting gear and Mossy Oak's signature camo designed for every hunt. Built to be waterproof, durable, and reliable, you can trust your gear when it matters most. Stay dry, stay ready. Our products float with a watertight seal, keeping your essentials airtight and scent-free. The top seals automatically, no manual closure needed. With Dry Pocket's Mossy Oak collection, you're ready for any adventure. Gear up at drypocket.com and use promo code ASCEND for a special offer. Oklahoma Joe's, big, authentic barbecue flavor year-round. Gather, grill, and share the flavor that brings everyone together. Oklahoma Joe's, built for every season. Visit oklahomajoes.com and use promo code DUCKS10 for 10% off.
Welcome back to the Ascend podcast. We are with Addison Walker today. We've already talked a lot about training puppies, training competition dogs, and training the hunting dog. So now I want to talk a little bit more about actually hunting with these dogs, especially a new dog. It's their first, second, third time out. So we're hunting with a new dog. As a hunter, what do you need to pay attention to?
Your main focus is definitely gonna be on your dog. Your focus should not just be on killing the ducks. Your focus needs to be on your dog, making sure they're doing, like, sitting and not breaking. I know a lot of people, their first time taking a dog, they won't even bring a gun with them sometimes, or they'll bring a gun just in case, but won't even use it.
And like, do you think that most of the time those people go by themselves, or they go with people and just focus on the dog?
They'll definitely go with, like, a group of people and just focus on the dog, making sure they're not gonna break, they're not gonna be gun shy in the duck hole, and are watching the birds fall.
And then they'll still get the opportunity to go retrieve.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's say that I've never hunted with duck dogs. Never, what do I need to know? What are the most important things if I've never hunted with a dog before, whenever I do it for the first time?
If the dog's in the water, definitely make sure you're not shooting low.
Mm.
That's, like, the main thing. And then while the dog's working, definitely don't, like, try to be yelling at it or saying its name, like, trying to play with it or anything.
And I would assume, like, let's say a dog does break before. Who is how do you like, I'm assuming then the trainer or the owner of the dog is responsible to, like, let everybody know, "Hey, my dog's in
Yes.
the water, don't shoot."
Yes, definitely, but you try not to let them break even though it is their first time, 'cause that just puts everybody in a bad situation. So, usually, you're just kinda like, "No, no, come back,"
So that's
and
why
put them
you were
back in heel.
saying the the person in charge of the dog usually will just be in charge of the dog the first few times to make sure
Yes.
they've got a good handle on how all this should be going.
Yes.
Um, if the let's say okay, so here let's say there's a veteran dog, like this dog has hunted years and years versus a puppy. What sorta how does that change? Like, if you take a dog out that knows what they're doing, how does that change in regards to the trainer or the owner?
The person working the dog can pay less they still pay a lot of attention to it, but they don't have to be, like, only focusing on the dog. They can shoot and well, after they kill a duck or whatever, they can easily just send the dog for it, and they'll go get it, come right back.
And is that do you do, um, mostly in-water duck hunting or, like, over fields, or how does that work for what you do mainly?
I mainly just do in the water, but we do train on a lot of fields and everything a lot too.
Do you again, this is I just find all this interesting. So, at where you work, do they have, is it natural ponds, or do they flood them for the duck season?
We, like, dug out a swamp, so it's kinda natural water back there, and we'll take 'em the guided hunts and everything back there in the swamp.
How big is that?
It's pretty big. I can't remember exactly how many acres we have, but we have a lot.
Enough to have a bunch of ducks that come in.
Yes.
Um, what about okay, I told you I have a lot of dumb questions. And I will preface that, like I said, Addison and I had a conversation before so that I could explain how dumb these questions that I have are. But I'm hoping my hope is that some of you listening to this are also brand new to the hunting with dog world, and I'm asking questions that you would also wanna know. I'm hoping, or maybe I just ask dumb questions. But anyway, so one question that I had for Addison is, so these dogs people that I know who duck hunt a lot say it is by far the coldest hunting they've ever done. So, how do the dogs stay warm through all
Well,
of this watering?
their fur is naturally warm, but we also put, like, a vest on them to keep added warmth around their belly and everything. And if it gets, like, too cold for them, if we can tell they're getting too cold, we'll, like, keep them out the water.
I gotcha. And I saw too, actually I was watching the video from, Mossy Pond, and they have, little, I guess, benches that
Yes,
they
and
put in the water?
we call them play stands. We'll, like, attach them to the tree that we're hunting with, and we'll just stand beside the dog in the water.
So he's out of the water,
Yes,
like,
ma'am.
hanging out. So he only has to get wet if you actually shoot something.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm sure that's helpful because they're not underwater, just, like, getting
All
freezing
the
cold.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that, is that like, how do you know they're too cold?
Well, they will shake a little bit and they'll still be okay, but, like, if they, like, start getting, like, sluggish and
Mm,
everything.
that makes sense. Like humans, hypothermia
Yes.
and all that kinda thing. Now, while you're hunting, do they get treats? Or they, like how does that go?
We don't do treat training, so, like, the bird is their reward,
Mm,
basically. Like, they wanna go retrieve, so, like, them getting to go get the bird is their reward.
that's cool. 'Cause you're not having to carry treats around everywhere. That makes sense. Another question that we had talked about that I was interested because, again, that video, the guy was right beside the what you call it, a place stand
Yes, ma'am.
and shooting, and the dog, is just a foot or two away. So, how do you think that all the shooting affects the dog's hearing?
I don't think so. I
And
think
we
they, like, get used to it or something. Not sure either.
That's right, 'cause we were talking about it, and we were saying that they can still hear when you call them. They can still hear, whenever you blow the whistle or whatnot. So, that's an interesting thing. I don't If you are a dog trainer or a veterinarian and you happen to know the answer to that question, again, I'm certain it's not relevant to training dogs, but I just was very interested because I know if people were shooting guns by my head for a few hours, it would not go very well for me. So it's interesting as if it doesn't affect them as a protective measure, that's just part of their innate within them as well.
Right.
Anyway, so if you know, comment and let us know. Um, so how long do you retire the dog at some point? Like, how do you know when to do that?
Well, and they can be retired at different ages. Basically, once they just, like, get where they don't really if they don't really wanna do it anymore and they're old, then usually that's a good sign to retire, or if they're just, like, starting to get achy muscles and everything, where it's, like, not fun for them anymore, that's when you retire them.
And then they just become pets.
Yes, ma'am.
um, and so you said you have trained mainly retrievers, uh, short hairs. You said German short hair. What was it you said? The 3 kinds of dogs, the retrievers, and then there were 2 others.
And then GSPs and Boykins.
I gotcha. What's your favorite of those?
Definitely a lab.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
What's different about them? What makes those your favorite?
Their demeanor really, like, I feel like they're just way more calmer and relaxed than, like, a Boykin or a GSP would be.
And are those bigger? Which dogs are larger?
Labs, definitely.
Oh, okay. So kinda the same deal. Now, um, do you okay, again, dumb question. Can a dog that you've trained for duck hunting also be used for other bird hunting, like upland hunting?
Yes.
How does that training different?
It's kinda all the same, but we'll definitely put them in, like, different scenarios, like, for duck hunting, we'll do more water marks and blinds, and for, like, pheasant and dove, we'll do more, like, field scenarios.
So, can a retriever point?
I'm sure they can. I've just never done it, but I bet they could if you trained them for it.
I guess, yeah. So if you're taking like, let's say you're going through an upland hunt, do you do a lot of that as well, or mainly just ducks?
We do a lot of those guided hunts too at Mossy.
So um, how do they know like, if you were using a retriever, how do they know what like because you can't see the birds. So how do they
Right.
know what to do and, like, not flush them till you're ready? Like, how do they know that?
We'll have some pointers out there that will go and point, and then we won't send our retrievers or flush dogs until we make sure all the hunters are ready.
I got you. So they're both. You're gonna have the
Yes.
pointers that just find them and stay put. That makes sense. And then the other ones do a different job.
Yes, ma'am.
So do pointers also retrieve? So if you were dove hunting with or pheasant hunting with a pointer, would it go get the bird as well, or you have to have a retriever too?
That's kinda the same thing. If you train it for it, it could, but if you don't train it for it, probably not.
So best case, you'd have both.
Yes, ma'am.
I got you. How is the same like the pointing dogs? Is that a different competition, or are they in the same that you were talking about?
I had never really trained a pointing dog before, the point or anything. I'm sure there's competition somewhere for those, but I'm not sure.
And it's not they aren't in the competitions that you were doing.
No, ma'am.
And what was the name of those competitions?
Super Retriever Series.
Super Retriever Series. And you said as a high schooler you were doing that.
Yes, they have a special. They call it Super Retriever Series University, and that's just for high school and college kids, and we can have, like, a coach and everything.
So then, I'm kinda backing up a little bit, but so as a high school girl, and there's all the high school things that are going on. How do you like, were you still all into the dances and the clubs and all that, or you were like, "No, this is what I wanna do?"
I still did all the high school stuff because I played sports too. So I was doing sports and working there and doing the clubs and the dances.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it definitely takes balance for sure.
Sure. And you said you're studying agriculture or conservation.
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you hope to do with that?
Really not sure yet. My parents really wanted me to come to college and meet new people and everything. So not sure what I want to do yet,
Which is
but
fine.
yeah.
You have plenty of time. I heard irrelevant, but a study once upon a time, I think it was like 83% of people, as an adult are in jobs that had nothing to do with their degree. So, for what it's worth, you got plenty of time. Plenty of time to figure it out.
Yes, ma'am.
What of what you studied so far, what's triggered you may really interested you the most?
I'm still in a lot of core classes right now,
No. So nothing.
but yeah, it's kind of boring.
Yeah, a lot of math and social studies-y, reading, English.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not near as fun as getting to do training dogs.
No, it's definitely not near as fun.
Do they have that competition at your school? Like, can you do that through your school?
They don't. Like, it's not through a school
Mm.
technically, but, like, when we sign up, we'll put what school we go to and everything.
So you're still getting to do it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, that's fun. Now, will you get another dog and train it at the same time as the dog you already have, or is that too much?
You could, but I'm definitely gonna wait till I get out of college before I get a different dog.
I bet that would be a lot. How many hours a day are involved when you're training?
When at work, when we train, we'll usually get there around 5 in the morning, feed which dogs need to be fed, let them use the bathroom, let them up on the trailer, and then go to the field, and then we won't usually start feeding in the afternoon till around 5 o'clock in the
Oh,
afternoon.
wow. So, like, a whole day.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. So how many now that your dog is with you, how much are you still working with her throughout a week, I guess, would be a better question.
Really, as much as I possibly can with college and everything. Like, she's not with me right now, she's at my house, so whenever I go home on the weekends, I'll take her out, take her to our little river and everything, let her play, make sure she's still doing good on marks and everything.
How, is it possible for them to lose their training?
I don't think so, I think it's kinda just like for humans riding a bike, like something you just don't really forget.
Like, they aren't quite as good at it,
Might be
but
rusty, but yeah.
they're still gonna do it.
Yes, ma'am.
That's cool. Um, what would you say is your first question, what's your favorite part of the training process?
I'd say whenever they're starting to learn marks, getting them to learn to watch the bird and go get it and everything.
And how long does that take? Like, is it like a thing most of them learn in a day or 2, or is it a few weeks? What's the average?
Well, we start off with the puppy marks, the really, really short ones, and then we'll gradually get up the longer and longer marks. And we've had a mark that's probably 100 yards before, or sometimes further, just depends on everything.
And they learn it pretty quickly?
They do. They'll start learning the mark real quick, and we just progressively make the marks harder for them.
That makes sense, 'cause if they get it 10 yards, then you move it to 15 yards, then when they're ready to try 40 yards or whatever.
Yes, ma'am.
So then, question 2. So training marks is your favorite part of the training process. So when hunting with a dog, what's your favorite part of that process?
I love just watching the dogs work. It's just super cool. It's, like, amazing what they can do.
What, has you've taken your dog several times or just a couple times?
A few times, yeah.
How's how does it feel when you see your dog, like, do her thing?
It's definitely a great feeling because 'cause you're like, "Yay, she's finally doing it."
All this work, it paid off.
Yes.
That's really neat. What about, do you so you how often do you duck hunt, I guess is the best first question.
I go just about as much as possible, trying to fit it in between school and everything.
So it's something you do on a pretty regular basis. Does
Yes,
your
ma'am.
dog always go with you, or do you, only take her if, like, somebody else doesn't have a dog?
I usually always take her.
And she how good is she at it?
She's definitely getting better. The first time was definitely rough, but she's gotten a whole lot better. She's pretty good now.
That's good. And is she does a good job staying in place and not breaking and all that stuff?
Yes, ma'am.
So how many marks can she keep up with?
3.
Okay. I feel like that's probably good.
Yes, that's pretty good.
What's the most you've seen a dog keep up with?
Usually we only go up to, like, 4.
Oh, okay. I feel like that's good too, though.
That's really good.
Yeah. And so when you are in the hole where you hunt on or wherever it is you hunt, how far are those retrieves usually?
It's usually not that far at all because I'm hunting on the river, which is just like I'm just hunting on the little sandbar.
So however far across the river, that'd be about the most.
Yes, ma'am.
That's really so if you had to pick, let me think how I want to ask this question. If you could only hunt or only compete with your dog, what would you pick?
I would probably pick hunting just because I love hunting.
Right.
Yes. But
Would you do you hope to keep competing?
I think so. I love it, so I'd like to continue still being in the sport.
What's the is that by um how is it in broken up? By dog age or by trainer or how do they break that up?
For the Super Retriever series, it's broken up by amateurs and pros. Pros are like the people who train dogs and get paid to train dogs, and amateurs are people that just train their own dogs and want to compete.
I gotcha. And is that broken up any further, like males and females or age group or anything, or just
Just like that.
wow? So, like, if you're in out there, you're competing against people who could have been doing it for 20 years.
Yes.
Wow. Who usually like? Is it the same people often win, or is it
Usually, like, it's a lot of just the same people out there every time, so you just become friends with everybody out there.
have any of the people that work where you work won?
Yes, the guy I work under is Carter Turner. He won the crown last year and the year before last.
Okay, so you're learning from a. It sounds like somebody that actually like knows what they're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
That's pretty cool that
Yes.
they are willing to or he, I guess, is willing to mentor and teach you. Are there other people as well that he's doing that with that you know of?
He's definitely he had a few people, like, high school kids just trying to teach them, like, get more young people into the sport.
That's neat. Is there a, an organization, like, a to do the retriever super retriever series? Is there a organization you could join?
Um, I think that is kinda like the organization, kinda, I think.
So you just find the super retriever series and if somebody was wanting to get into it, they could just look that up. We'll,
Yes.
hopefully, we'll have some links in the description as well. We'll have some for Mossy Pond Lodge and for the Super Retriever series. So, especially on the YouTube video. So, if you're interested in that stuff, we'll make sure we put that below. Um, well, Addison, before we're finished, is there anything else that, stands out to you as to if somebody's listening to this and they think they may wanna get into dog training, what would you say to them?
Definitely just try it. It's a great experience even if you just go out there and watch somebody else train a dog. It's fun to watch, it's fun to do.
would you recommend hunting training or competition training?
Probably
both?
for the first one, I would the first dog you get, I would definitely recommend it starting off hunting and then start looking for a better bloodline and then go into competition.
That makes sense. What is the most important thing that you have learned in the past 2 years with the dog training?
Be patient.
That makes sense.
Yes.
I guess, yeah, if you expect too much too soon, everybody's gonna be
Yes.
unhappy.
Yes, ma'am.
Good deal. Anything else you want everybody to know?
Think I'm good.
And I mean, I learned a ton. Again, I'm hoping that some of you listening also didn't know anything and my questions weren't too below standard for everybody, but I know that I learned a lot. So Addison, thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing all of your information. If you tell everybody where they can find you, follow you if you would like.
Yes, I have Instagram. I don't know my Instagram though.
So, and
Yes.
is it your name probably?
Yes, it's something like that.
So they can just search Addison Walker and hopefully they'll see your
It's
picture.
yes, it should pop up.
It should pop up.
Yes.
And then, like I said, we'll put links to the Super Retriever series, Mossy Pond Lodge below if you guys want to learn more about that. Um, and like I said, if you have any questions, comment below. And if I didn't ask all the questions, then I can ask Addison and we'll respond. If you please comment, let us know your thoughts and share our episodes with all your friends. Make sure everybody's watching. And you can also head over to social media. The Ascend podcast has, I know for sure, Instagram, I think Facebook. So follow along, follow the journey. I know if you watched our episode with the 4 hosts, we really want all of this to be a community where people get to know each other. We answer questions. We provide some amazing resources, tips, tricks, all that good stuff. So be involved, be part of it. We want you guys to be as much part of it as we are. So, having said that, thank you for your time. I'm Adrienne, encouraging you to follow your story wherever it takes you.
Thank you for listening to the Ascend podcast. New every week, the conservation-driven podcast 1 week and our adventure video series the next. Watch the Ascend Adventure episodes on the Ducks Unlimited YouTube channel. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Opinions expressed by guests do not necessarily reflect those of Ducks Unlimited. Until next time, follow your outdoor story wherever it leads you. Ascend.